So hey fam, thank you for joining me on my testimonial series. I think I know where I want to stop with this part one, because I'm not sure how much information that someone can listen to. So I want to start out by saying I'm 43 years old. I am one of four children with my mother and one of three with my father. So I have two brothers, older brothers that my father had, and then my mom, I have one older brother and two younger sisters. So I want to go back to when I said that I was an anointed one and I was chosen. And the reason why I feel so strongly about that is just some of the things that's happened in my life. For example, before I was even born, first let's go back to when my mom came here. My mom is Cuban, my father is Puerto Rican. My mother came here when she was 6 years old with my grandfather and grandmother and her siblings. And they actually came over here with the church on a boat. And this is just information that my mom has told me. And they originally located to California, had an earthquake, and they were like, hell no, we don't want to live in this type of environment. Why they do that to us? But it landed them here in Grand Rapids. For a long time, because of how my mother kind of was as an adult, I always thought like we were impoverished, or like she grew up in poverty, and she did not. Like my grandfather owned properties, so my family has always been pretty well off. But all right, so that's the story about my mom and how they came here, and she's been here since 6 years old. So as my mom, there's always a black sheep in the family, and I think my mom is the black sheep of her family. She's the youngest of four daughters, and she's always been different than the other ones. But fast forward, my mom has always been in tumultuous relationships, abusive domestic situations. If you met her, you would see like she's different. I mean, she's mad fun and she's different. So mom, if you watch this, I am not saying any of these things to make you look like a bad person. I'm just trying to share my world with other people, because maybe some of the stuff that I've gone through as a child can help other people. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to bash you. I love you. I love my mom. Regardless of anything that happened in my childhood, I will always love my mom. That's my mom. She gave birth to me. All right, back to the story. So my mom was in a tumultuous relationship with my father, who was Puerto Rican. He was a little obsessive, a little controlling, as a lot of Puerto Rican men are. Is my experience. That's just my opinion. Don't hold that against me, y'all. And so she had my brother already. So I'm going to fast forward. She had my brother. She had her own things going on with her family and everything. And I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We're talking about me. So I was born early because my mother was abused. So I was born 6 weeks early. Miracle baby. I was about 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds. And I wasn't breathing. So that's my first point. When I say that I'm anointed, that's my first proof and confirmation is I was a miracle baby. I lived through, a tough time. And God breathed life into me, and here I am. Then, at 5 weeks old, because of my prematurity, I had to have surgery. Little tiny little baby, 4-pound baby, had to get opened up from here to here. That's why when you see the scar on my stomach, that was from a surgery. Not the first surgery. That was That was the second surgery that caused that scar, but I had to have surgery to repair a hiatal hernia. Fast forward a little bit. I know bits and pieces of my childhood. I know that my mother struggled with a lot of, drug abuse issues, alcohol abuse issues for a very long time. As we were little, like in and out of jail and things like that. Man, if you knew the stories, I'm not going to get into the stories about my mom, but man, she a G. I'm going to say that. She's something. But, so that's a little bit in the beginning. I remember my mom telling me when I was 2 years old, here's another point of why I feel like I am an anointed one. At 2 years old, I was living in Burton Heights in with my mother. I believe I was with my mother, and I was playing outside and I was kidnapped. She did find me a couple hours later by the grace of God. You know, a lot of kids come up missing, trafficked, murdered, and I was kidnapped and returned safely to my mom. So that's another reason why I feel like I am an anointed one. So God has me here for a reason. And those are just a couple of things that have happened to me. At 2 years old, I remember suffering a seizure. My temperature got too high. I remember leaving in an ambulance at 2 years old. I remember another time at 2 years old, my mother's apartment getting raided. Doors kicked in, police everywhere. Oh my gosh. What an experience for a 2 and 3 year old child. Me and my brother were both there during that time. So these are just some little things that's happened as a youngster with my mom. I think I'm gonna let that sit for right now, because it gets so much deeper. Like, I spent a lot of my childhood with family members. By the grace of God, family members stepped in and took us, and that's why part of the reason why I'm the woman I am today too, is because I was taken out of a very bad environment and put into a better environment. But I kept reverting back to my mom, because ain't nobody's love like your mom's, even if it's very toxic. So that's my part 1. I know that's a lot of information that I just packed in 4 minutes, but my life gets a little deeper. So stay tuned next week. I'm going to go into early childhood, some of the things I remember happening, some of the things that did happen to me, how it made me feel, and how God saved me. So stay tuned next week, Wednesday, because part 2 is going to be coming at you, y'all. All right. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll talk to y'all soon.